Hi, this is Iris from Cashmere Goat, and in this video we are going to be talking about picking up stitches for the gusset of your sock. So you've knit the leg, you've knit the heel flap, you've turned the heel, and you can see that the heel has been turned, and now comes maybe not everybody's favorite part, which is picking up the stitches on either side so that we can start decreasing for the foot. So most sock patterns will have you, and this is a top-down sock, as you can see. Most sock patterns will have you slip the first stitch of your heel flap. So what you end up with is kind of this very sort of long and loopy edge stitches. And as a first-time sock knitter, that really freaked me out. But that is actually on purpose to make it easier for you to do the next step, where we will be instructed to pick up and knit so many stitches, and this would be based on your size, along one side of the heel, then you knit across the top, and then you pick up and knit along the other side of the heel. And these funny looking stitches actually make it a little bit easier. So let's really take a peek at it. So what we're seeing is, you can see there's kind of a long V knit stitch. And I look at it that way, and then if I turn it, I see the same thing, and that's how we're going to go in and pick up, is not picking up along this side, but just sort of turning it a little bit so I can see that I'm just right along the edge here. So that's where we're going to be going in. So I'm going to, and my first stitch got a little bit split here, you know, of course it would. So I'm going to go underneath both bars of this stitch, and then I'm going to do a knit stitch. And I'm knitting underneath both these bars together, and that's my first picked up and knit stitch. So for the second one, I'm going to be going right under here. You can see where I've got those two bars. Here's that view, and then here's the side view, and I'm just going to go right under those two bars, give it a knit stitch. On to the next one, and I'm going to go right in here, pick up and knit. So now I've got 3 stitches picked up and knit. And we'll do one more for good measure. And again, I'm just going to try to catch those 2 bars, pick up and knit. So when we've picked up and knit those stitches, what it's going to look like is something like this, where I can see on the reverse side there's a bit of a hem, and then on the front side it's just this neat little row of stitches. And then your instructions will tell you to work across the top of your sock foot in whatever pattern that you've established. Okay, so here we are on the other side of the sock, and you can see I've knit across the top. That's called the instep of your sock, and the part that will go right over the top of your ankle, the front of your foot. And now I have to do the same thing, and you can see it looks basically the same, right? I can see those little V's. I'm going to turn it to the side, so I'm going to be pinching and picking up from this direction. And so on this side, I actually like to employ a little tool called the Flox tool. This is a new tool that we've got in the shop. I find it it's a great multi-tool. So for me, I'm going to pick up my 2 V's here, and then I'm going to knit into, not the front loop, but into the back loop. And that, to my eye, makes a little bit of a tidier, look on the side of the foot, on this particular side only. It's always just on the left side as worn of the sock. I don't know why it is. Maybe I'm doing something else wrong, but that's how I do it. So here's that V. I'm going to pick up both legs, and I'm going to knit into the back of the stitch. And again, this is just because I prefer that look on the side of my sock. It otherwise, in my experience, it creates a pretty visible hole. So we'll do one more. And I'm going to knit right into the back of that stitch. And you can see what's happening. I'm just creating that nice little line of stitches right there. Do one more for kicks. Oops. Sometimes it takes a little practice to know which you should be reaching for. And there we go. I'm going to continue and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So I have picked up and knit the stitches on the side, the left side of my heel flap. And again, that's left side as if I were wearing it, as if my foot were coming through. That's going to be the same number of stitches I had on the right side of my heel flap. And then the final step will tell you to knit across half the stitches from the number of stitches you had when you turned your heel. So knit across half of those, place a marker for the beginning of your round. And most socks will have you keep these stitches, which is called the instep, on a separate needle than the socks for your sides and for the bottom of your foot. If you like this video, please give it a like or leave us a comment on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the Cashmere Goats YouTube channel, and happy sock making!